Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to Trip Boomers Tech-Bodge Emporium. Today is a very... Sorry, I should probably redo that without the swear word. Today is a very good day. Because in this box, ominously large box, I think it's a little bit too big for what it should be, is my new GPU. Now, I'm just looking at the box now, and I have to say, the box gives off the sort of like a bit more of an old schooly vibe with all its flames and whatnot. Anyway, I'm not going to reveal what I've got yet, because we do need to make some alterations to the case, because of a small oversight of my own. We have to make some alterations to the case, you know, that custom case that I built and designed so that I didn't have to faff afterwards. Yeah, I've got to faff afterwards. So we've got to move a pipe over, so we've got to do some drilling and stuff and that. So before I reveal what graphics card I've actually decided to upgrade to, it's a bit of a shocker. We're going to do that first. And then we'll get to what's going on in here, where I got it from, what I paid, what I've got, all of that jazz. We'll get onto that afterwards. But we've got to drill some holes in that first. But before I can, just to whet your appetite, I'm not going to reveal who the brand or anything. I'm just gonna, all I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some of the marketing jargon from said manufacturer about this card. So I'm going to leave out anything too obvious, but you can probably figure it out if you know the GPU market. So we have embodying the spirit of rebirth that is its namesake represents, featuring a wing-inspired design, a layered contour, a model sports, a bold dimensional aesthetic. My lisp is struggling with that one. A touch of ARGB. On the side logo adds vibrant flair, reflecting its dynamic personality while seamlessly blending style and functionality. Is your appetite wet already? A little bit more. Superior hardware design is devoted to the highest stability under extreme heavy loading operation. Extreme silent, extreme cool. It runs relatively quiet and cool from daily applications to high loading, thanks to its new thermal design. Gamers reborn. Fly your gaming DNA. It's inspiring, isn't it? Right, anyway. So before we get to what's in this box, I know, but you've only got to wait another couple of minutes whilst I faff about with the case. We're going to go drill those holes in the case, aren't we? We need to get it done so that I can actually fit this thing in. Because basically, if I'm honest with you, the pipe positioning that I put in there, I knew I had to move it because it was a struggle to get that 3060 in there, and the 3060 is the width of the PCIe slots. This bad boy is a bit wider, so we definitely need to move it. So we'll get onto that. There's some drilling involved. I probably should pull all the PC parts out of the case before I drill holes in it, but I want to put my new GPU in. So we'll have none of that and we'll just get cracking in it. Let's go. And then I promise we'll get to here. We'll talk about what I got, what I paid, why I've got what I've got. The box is a little bit bigger than it, but it's definitely bigger than it needs to be. But it's probably for safety of packaging. Right, okay, guys. So I can explain what's going on. As you can see here, obviously the back system's still on, so we can get this audio, so it sounds a bit better for you. But as you can see here, this pipe here is in front of these slots and it's too close. So what we've got to do is we're going to have to move this pipe to here, sort of right next to this one, maybe a little bit lower, so that I can get the new part in. It's a lot wider. Another thing that we're going to be adding is this motherboard from ASRock. This Extreme motherboard does come with a GPU sag bracket, so we'll be adding that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this GPU out, I'm going to turn everything off, unplug it and that. Take this GPU out, and then I'm going to mask this all off, mark out the back, and then I'm going to drill a hole from the back here, get a hole big enough for it to slot into, and then once we've done that, then we'll clamp off this back pipe that leads to this, because that's just a temporary thing anyway, whilst I wait for a pump for the back, and then disconnect it, put some new PTFE tape on that back, on the threads for this, and then put it in the new hole, move it over basically. And then once I've moved it over, hopefully that should mean that I can just throw in the new GPU. But what I'll have to do then is I'll take this off. I want to clean the fins in there, because if anyone's watched anything with my channel, they'll know that that got disgusting. So I want to give the fins a clean in there, see if I can improve cooling a little bit there. And I'll top the water up from there, which will fill this air pocket that I'll have created in here from disconnecting this. And then once I've got all that done, we can have a look at the new GPU and see what I've got, and go through all that, and then we'll have a look at some comparisons so you can see the sort of upgrade that I've got, that I've achieved from this. So excited, but not excited to be drilling holes in my PC again, but I'm excited to get a new GPU in here. So should we get on with it? I'm probably just going to get it done. See you in a sec. Right, okay guys, the pipe's moved over, I've got the back system running, so the pumps are running, so I can see if it leaks. It does not, so we're in good stead. I'm pretty sure I'll get the GPU in there now. I've run an extra cable because I forgot to add it when I put the power supply in. I intended to, but it never happened, so I put that in. So we've got that going, and yeah, everything's pretty much ready. I couldn't put the GPU bracket in because I would either have to cut into the bracket or cut into the fan down here. So instead of cutting into something that I could possibly sell in the future or be part of the motherboard that I sell in the future, I think I'll see what the sag's like and see if I can do something with this fan anyway, like, because obviously I can just wedge something in there, it might give me some height. Right, anyways, enough waffling. I have made you guys wait enough, I feel. Are you ready? Here it is. Place your bets. It is a Gainwood 57 TTI. Yes, I am an odd between a 5070 Ti and a 9070 XT. I opted for this. There's a couple of reasons. Firstly, this card, and it is a golden sample. Now, as far as I understand it, Gainwood consider this golden sample badge is basically them saying that this is a little bit of an overclocking beast, and I think they warranty it for an extra like 10-15% of an overclock. So that's pretty good. That's you pay an extra tenner for that badge, so that's no biggie. But I paid £740 delivered to my house. £740. Shout out Overclockers UK. Second time I'm dealing with them. This one was way more positive than the first time, but we'll get into that maybe in another video. I thought I'd give them a proper chance, and they came through. So yeah, 740 quid. So I'd like to thank what? Oh, I think it's dead. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, so I would like to thank old President Trump for dropping the value of the dollar so hard that I actually get this theoretically under MSRP. Now, for those of you that don't think the price of the dollar is going down, it's 740 quid. Why didn't I get a 9070 XT instead? I'll tell you why. because the 9070 XT are priced between, over here, you can, if you wait long enough, you get one for about 650 quid. This is with VAT included, 740 quid by the way. So you can get one if you wait long enough for about 660 quid. It's supposed to be under 600, like, and between 660 quid and 720 quid, which still puts it well above MSRP. Whereas at 740 quid, that to me, that puts this under MSRP, so it's kind of a bit more of a bargain. Why did I go with a Gamewood? You should already know from previous videos, I am avoiding using Asus, Gigabyte or MSI like the plague. I don't want to have to deal with those companies. They're obviously out to skin gamers. They're taking the piss. So I don't want their cards. Simple as that. I'm not spending money on their hardware. If I can avoid them, I will. Also, I don't mind having sort of like base model. Apparently this has got, it's supposed to have a vapor chamber and stuff like, so we'll have a look at that in a future video, but we're just going to chuck it in here and see how it gets on quickly, throw some drivers on it, and then I've got a side-by-side between just a couple of games, just quick drop into a couple of games on a side-by-side between the 3060 and this 5070 Ti, so you get the idea of the sort of upgrade that I'm getting from this, and also and I will say that any DLSS that I'm using on the 3060 in the benchmarks, I will not be using on this card. You might get a video off me in the future when I'm looking at MFG, multi-frame gen, but I'll be honest with you, I have no intentions of turning multi-frame gen on this card, but it is part of the decision making when I came to choosing which card I was going to take, because having that multi-frame gen is probably going to be really handy in like a few years, you know, to help out. I don't need it now, but it's going to be handy in the future. Also for the future is their Nvidia's new neural rendering stuff, like that is going to show up in games. Like we've seen it all happen with the RT. That stuff is going to show up in games. So that's, I wanted to have something that would be able to play with it when it happened. So that's why I went with a 5070 Ti over the 9070 XT. But I probably will end up buying a 9070 XT as well and seeing how they compare to each other and seeing what experience I prefer. Because I've been with Nvidia for quite a while. It's kind of the better the devil you know. The other reason I do not mind buying a base model is because I can't leave my hardware alone. I mean, look at my 3060. Do you think it looks like this when it comes out the shop? When you get it from the shop? Do you think it's this thick when you get it from the shop? No, this is a 2-slot card, but it's now a 3-slot card. And these aren't the original fans, they're not to A9s. I can't help myself but mod stuff. Obviously I wanted to mod this card in a way that it would work. These fans work off the graphics card. Everything is solid, it keeps in one place. I could literally sell it like this and no, it's not fragile, it's not going to just start falling apart. Like, so it's pretty decent little card. It's been absolute beast. And it's not going to be the end of this card. You know, this is not the end of this card for this series. I'm going to be coming, we're going to see if she can get a bit better than 40th on Port Royale before she hangs up a crown, like. So we shall have a look. But anyway, should we get the card in the system and see what won? Did you guys really think that I was not going to open this box with you? Obviously I am. Hopefully you get what I mean. Like I think with the frames and stuff, it does look a little bit more old school in its aesthetics. Chop this open just to make sure that it wasn't a brick, you know. You know, be too careful with these GPUs these days. It's a very plain box. What do we have in here? Oh, got some Gamewood stickers. Very nice, very nice. And oh, there she is. There she is. we've got the adapter, which I'll have to connect to those 2 8 pins right there. Let me get this out then. Throw that box over there, there's nothing else in there. They're pretty fun to get these days. Just a GPU and a connector. Let's have a look at this card then, shall we? Ooh, kind of pretty. I like it. I don't hate the look. I like that all of this is aluminium. I've already got ideas in my head to how we're going to do some alterations. It's got a good, decent little pass through on the back. This back plate is aluminium as well, or steel, well, it's metal anyway. It's got dual BIOS, so that's pretty cool. Stock and performance, I'm guessing. That's freaking awesome. Yeah, I'm actually thinking of the front a little bit small on one end. So. But no, I think it's a good looking card, you know. Got a little phoenix motif on the back there. They didn't give me a cover for that, but that's not the end of the world, is it? No, I'm actually really pleased with this as a card look coming in. I think it looks really nice. Should we? Sorry. As you can see, got a nice big pass through. All of this side here, this bit here, and this bit here is aluminium. Obviously, this is plastic, but I quite like the sort of flowiness. You get the idea of the wings coming out from that side, and the phoenix badge. So all this bottom bit's plastic, but this is all aluminium or steel, and the same goes for the top. I think it's aluminium. Which one's stronger? Yeah, it's the aluminium backplate. It sticks to the screws, but it doesn't stick to the aluminium. Right, should we get it in the case? See how we get on. Let's have a look at those comparisons, shall we? Let's go.
Right, okay. So just quickly, yes, this is a 5070 Ti, and as you can see there, it does have its ROPs. So let's get into the gameplay. First up, we got Fortnite here. On the left there, we've got the 3060, and it's running with DLSS quality. It's pretty maxed out settings, to be fair, but with global illuminations for the lighting and the RTX reflections lumen high, and over on the 5070 Ti we've got DLSS quality as well, because DLAA is not available. I don't like TAA, and by the time I'm using one of the upscalers I may as well use DLSS, and up the RT, so I up the RT to epic, so it's got full RT running at the minute, on lighting and reflections, and we're still up on frame rate. I'm super happy with the results. Obviously I'm just stressing it in a completely different way, rather than if you're wondering why you're not getting a big boost in FPS. I mean, to be fair, it's Fortnite. You're playing up against people on consoles, and kids, once you're over 120 FPS, like you're faster than most people anyway, and the game looks awesome with all the RT on. Why not? I've got a 5070 Ti. Anyways, yeah, this is the Fortnite. Ta-da! Right, good. Next step, I think, it's coming up. What is next? GTA. Jumping into GTA here. So both sides obviously are using DLAA. They're both native 1440p. But over on the 3060 side, I'm using my optimized settings, but with very high RT. And over on the 5070 Ti, I'm using my optimized settings, but with ultra RT. That's the main difference, really. Like, obviously, that's again why we're not getting a huge leap in FPS, because obviously I've stepped up the RT, because to be fair, I don't really need that much more than 60 FPS in GTA, and it just looks better. Why not, innit? Why not? So yeah, I'm super happy with the results. This is like I said, these settings are going to be sort of like more how I'm going to play the game rather than just maxed out and testing one-on-one. They are one-on-one, but obviously I've upped the RT on the 5070 Ti here because why not? I've got the power there now, so why not? Obviously it's running super cool as well, which I'm super impressed with. It's a little bit noisy, but I'm gonna mod the crap out of it anyway, and then obviously it'll become that 5070 GTI that is labelled up as there. Right, over into Forza. Basically all I did was, this is really mostly maxed out settings, but obviously with the 3060 we're using DLSS quality, and it's DLAA over on the 5070 Ti. I was going to re-record, so the lighting was a bit the same. I tried a couple of times, kept getting it wrong, but the reflections on the roads look so good in this recording. I just thought, fuck it, I'll leave it. But I will admit, the game does look better at 1440p than it does at DLSS quality, but I will also say I am more than grateful for DLSS, because if it wasn't for DLSS, my 3060 wouldn't have been able to do what it's been able to do up till now for me. So you can hate on DLSS as much as you want, but this ain't bad, you know. And I tried MSAA 8. I get basically the same sort of frame rate as DLAA in this title. This is with the new. All of these have had the new model attached. Just a heads up on that. But yeah, so this was Forza. I'm just trying to give you a little sort of insight into a couple of different games, so you get an idea of the uplift that I've got from it. So we're going to jump over into Call of Duty now. Now these are running very high settings. The only difference I made was obviously on the 3060 I'm using DLSS quality, and on the 5070 Ti it's just native with DLAA. So again, you're seeing that boost up in frame rate, getting over 120 for the most part of the time. I do have to say that over on the 5070 Ti in this game I did forget to reset the 1%, so that's got menu numbers and all sorts, and the freeze and like when it's loading and stuff, so take it with a pinch of salt. But as you can see, the frame rate's pretty much as stable as it is over on the 3060, and things are like super stable. The thing is, like, yeah, I know I was playing with like 90s and stuff, like, but if you can keep it so that it's like not dropping any more than like 20 FPS, it feels so stable and you can kind of deal with it. But yeah, the extra frame rate's really quite nice, like it really is. I'm super happy with the upgrade, like to be able to just literally just basically switch off DLSS for the most part. I only leave it in Fortnite because it looks pretty decent. You know, it sits with the style of the game, and yeah, there's no DLA and you can't force it, and like there's probably some sort of mod to force it, but I can't be bothered. Also, I'd just like to say, over on the 5070 Ti side, in this particular title, I got a little, I forgot I was benchmarking, and I just started sort of working this rooftop for a little bit. Like I just kind of got lost in the sauce, if you get me. But I'm super happy with the GPU upgrade. Super happy. This little game with GPU is decent. Like I said, the fans are a little noisy. It ramped up, but if you've seen my 3060, that's going to change. Do you know what I mean? We'll probably be throwing some Noctua A9s or something on there, just so it's quiet and super cool. Right, over into Indiana Jones. Again, using my TPB optimized settings. I'll leave a link to the video to the ones with the optimized settings by me. I'll leave a link to all of them down below. with the 3060 we're using just DLSS quality on my settings, and then over on the 5070 Ti it's native with DLAA, and we're also adding the load scale 5, so you're just stretching those shadow render right out, so it does make a little bit of an impact on how it renders the shadows in and stuff. It looks nice. But yeah, again, super happy with the boost in FPS. I know it doesn't look massive here, but you need to remember that, you know, the 3060 is a quality DLSS, whereas the 5070 Ti is native, and it's stretching those shadows out a bit, which usually chops off another like sort of 5-10 FPS. But yeah, no, I'm super happy with it. It looks great. Like, the games look great. I can't lie. You know, I've always said this. Native obviously looks better. The only time I would say that any sort of like DLSS quality or something looks better is in a game like Fortnite, when you're going up against TAA and that looks quite heavily aliased, whereas DLSS deals with that aliasing quite well, and it looks all quite rounded. It's quite nice. I think that's why you get the confusion. So, last game up. We've got Doom Dark Ages here. Again, we've got DLSS balanced with my optimized settings on the 3060, and DLAA max settings. I say max settings, obviously I've got the things that I don't like switched off. So I don't like depth of field, I don't like motion blur, I don't like chromatic abrasion, and I don't like directional occlusion. Always feel like it gives this sort of like dark fog around the lead character, whether it's a car, whether it's a person. I just don't like it, so I turn that stuff off. But other than that, everything's maxed out, and we're on native, and it just looks friggin' awesome, playing awesome. This frame rate, to be fair, I don't need more than 60 FPS in this game. Have you seen how flat that frame time is? This game is so well optimized. When I say that, I know it's heavily intensive. You know, it's 5070 Ti, and I'm at 1440p, and I'm only getting like 80s to 90s. But the reason for that is because of how intensive it is. But it is so well optimized that even though it is that intensive, it doesn't really matter so much, because that frame time is so stable that this 90 odd FPS feels like 150 FPS, and that 60 FPS over on the 3060 felt like 90 FPS. You know, it really does make that impact. That's why I said in the settings video for this game on the 3060, that's why I said that it doesn't really matter too much that you drop a little bit into the 50s once in a while, because you don't really feel it because of how flat that frame time is. It kind of feels like you're still above 60, you know, even though you might drop into the 50s for like 10 seconds or something, because even when it does drop, it drops like it's not a judder, so you don't get like stutters or anything. It's just such a well optimized game. But yeah, I'm super happy with this, with these results, guys. Like, super happy with this upgrade. I can't lie, I'm itching to mod it, but I want to at least run it for a couple of weeks. Obviously this is the first game that I'm going to complete with that GPU. I obviously started it on the 3060, but we'll finish it on the 5070 Ti, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I'll be streaming that following this, and yeah, stay tuned, because obviously I'm itching to mod it, but I've got ideas rolling around in my head of what I want to do with the card. But I want to just make sure that, you know, it's working properly and it's running and everything, and we're all good there. So yeah, if you like the content, guys, you want to see more modding around this card, you want to see what I'm going to get up to with this thing, see what I come up with, don't forget, guys, this is my 3060. She chunky. So, like and subscribe if you want to see what happens to this bad boy.
in a few weeks. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the custom rig. The parts are there. There's a little bit of a stall of materials, but I haven't forgotten about it. I intend for the whole build to at least be done for Christmas, so that someone can at least purchase it and have like an absolutely awesome one-of-one rig that they're going to be able to love and cherish in the amount of love and cherish that I'm literally going to be putting into building it. Anyways, do you want to see it in the rig, guys? Do you want to see it? Just go on then. Before you go, I'll as always, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Love you, bye. Like and subscribe. Thank you.